Celtic kick off their Europa League campaign tonight with a proper test away to Serbian champions Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you prefer. It's a tough one, no question, but this is exactly what European football is all about. The team flew out yesterday after training at Lennoxtown in the morning, landing in Belgrade after a 3.5-hour flight. It's not quite the madness of a trip to Almaty, but still a fair distance. And now they find themselves in one of the most intimidating venues on the continent, gearing up for a massive challenge. Brendan Rodgers made it clear in the pre-match press conference. The Champions League is done, finished, gone. And he's spot on. There was huge disappointment with the way Celtic crashed out, no doubt about it. And the hangover from that result was felt not just on the pitch, but in the stands and across the fan base. But tonight isn't about licking wounds or playing catch-up. This is a fresh start. A clean slate in a competition where Celtic can genuinely compete. It's not a continuation of what happened in Kazakhstan. It's a new journey, and that matters. Let's be honest, as much as everyone wants those big Champions League nights, Celtic haven't exactly been tearing it up in Europe for the past 20-odd years. So we can't afford to turn our noses up at the Europa League. It's a quality tournament with real pedigree, and while there are some big hitters in the draw, it's not beyond Celtic to make a real push. Rodgers even hinted that last season's experience on the road has helped the squad mature. There's no need to press every ball, no need to panic. And the numbers back that up. Since the disaster in Dortmund, where Celtic leaked 7 goals, they've looked much more organized in Europe. 5 away games, 3 clean sheets, and they were seconds away from another in Munich. Defensively, things have tightened up. But now the question becomes, can this team carry a threat going forward? Those clean sheets came against Atlanta, Dinamo, and Kairat, but in all 3, Celtic failed to score. So tonight, it's not just about staying compact. It's about hurting the opposition too. Rodgers said it himself, there will be space tonight. Red Star will push forward at home, and Celtic have players who thrive when given room to run. The pitch looks big, the surface is good, and if the Hoops can find their rhythm early, there's every chance they can impose their game. Now let's talk about that stadium, the Ryko Mitic. It's a cauldron. The walk from the dressing room to the pitch is legendary in itself. The away changing rooms are actually in a separate building, meaning the players have to walk over 200 meters just to get to the center circle. 70 of those meters are through a narrow tunnel covered in red and white graffiti drawn by the ultras. Giant eyes stare down from the walls. The tunnel opens right into the home end, where the hardcore fans are already in full voice. It's designed to intimidate. But honestly, is it any worse than going to Ibrox? Or Dortmund? Or Munich? This Celtic side has been through some proper European nights recently, and they've handled themselves. They should absolutely embrace this one. On the team front, there are a few things to note. Anthony Ralston has traveled, but might not be fit enough to start. Austin Trusty stayed behind and won't be available. Alistair Johnston, Yamada, and a few others also miss out. But the big call might be at right back, where Rodgers seems ready to throw Kobe Donovan in from the start. It would be a massive night for the young defender, but there's something exciting about giving him the nod. Ralston is steady, sure, you know what you're getting. But with Donovan, there's that unknown factor, the potential for a breakthrough. It's a risk, but maybe a risk worth taking. At center back, Carter Vickers and Scales are basically locked in, with Kieran Tierney set to play on the left. Midfield should see McGregor in his usual role, and Rodgers might bring in Engels for a bit more energy alongside Hatate. He could also stick with Negrin, who's been solid this season, but Engels brings legs and a bit more bite in the middle. Up top, it's Tinky on the left all day. Through the middle, Dyson Maeda looks set to lead the line, and that leaves the right wing spot open. The options there are Forrest, Young, or Balaka. And on a night like this, James Forrest, with all his experience, might just get the nod. As for Red Star, they're a proper side. Like Celtic, they dominate domestically. They've won 8 Serbian league titles in a row and are top of the table again. They've also lifted the cup 5 times in the past 5 seasons. But in Europe, they've struggled to kick on. Their recent record at home in continental competitions isn't brilliant. They were knocked out by PAOK just a few weeks back after losing the second leg at home. PSV, Benfica, and Barcelona have all beaten them in Belgrade over the past couple of years. They'll be missing Rade Krunic, a former AC Milan midfielder who scored against Celtic back in 2020. And there's a chance their informed striker Alexander Katai might not start. He's 34 and has banged in 11 goals already this season, including a couple of hat tricks, but the Serbian press think he'll be on the bench. Marko Arnautovic, yes, the former Stoke and West Ham man, is expected to lead the line. Behind him, they've got players like Radonjic and Dwart who can cause problems. It's a strong side, no doubt. But what's interesting is how similar the two clubs actually are. Celtic and Red Star are almost mirrors of each other in today's game. Both dominate their domestic leagues. Both have rich histories in Europe, and both are struggling to take that next step on the continent. Even their UEFA coefficient points are nearly identical. 35 for Celtic, 34 for Red Star. Just 3 places between them in the rankings. They've both been in the Champions League recently. Both have failed to make it stick, and both are now looking to reset in the Europa League. It's almost eerie how aligned their stories are. And that's what makes tonight's game so fascinating. It's not just two clubs battling for 3 points. It's two sides trying to prove they belong on a bigger stage. For Celtic, this is a chance to show growth, maturity, and belief. The hostile atmosphere, the long tunnel, the pressure, none of it matters if you show up and play your game. It's the kind of night that tests not just your skill, but your bottle. And if the hoops can come through it, even with just a point, it might just set the tone for a proper European run. Red Star might have the crowd, the history, and that famous tunnel, but Celtic are no strangers to hostile environments. Let's not forget, this is a team that goes into Ibrox multiple times a season and knows exactly what it means to be the target in an away ground. They've walked into Dortmund's yellow wall, survived Munich's cold efficiency, and stood tall in Bergamo's fire. So, tonight isn't about fear, it's about opportunity. It's about using that noise, that chaos, and flipping it on its head. Silence the crowd, take control early, and make Belgrade uncomfortable. That's how you make a statement in Europe. The biggest thing to look for tonight is whether Celtic can find that balance. The team has shown real progress defensively, no doubt. Clean sheets away from home in Europe were almost unthinkable a few years ago, but now they're becoming a standard. The challenge now is to carry a threat while staying solid. We know what Celtic can do when given space. Players like Maeda and Tinky are built for this. Give them a few yards to stretch their legs, and they'll cause problems. But the key will be taking chances. It's all well and good creating opportunities, but in these tight European matches, it usually comes down to 1 or 2 key moments. You need to be ruthless. One big chance might be all you get. Brendan Rodgers mentioned that tonight's pitch should suit Celtic's style. It's a proper surface, wide, with space to operate. Red Star will come out looking to dominate, to press, and to pin Celtic back, especially in the opening stages. That's their comfort zone. That's how they get their crowd involved. But it also opens up gaps, especially if Celtic can bypass that first wave of pressure. Midfield becomes crucial in these moments. If McGregor and Hatate can get on the ball, find those early switches and play forward with purpose, then players like Tinky and Forrest can isolate their markers and really get at them. Forrest, in particular, could be key tonight. He's been through all of it. He's played in Europe for years, seen every type of opposition, and knows how to manage a game on nights like this. And if it is Donovan who gets the nod at right back, then he'll need all the support he can get, not just tactically, but emotionally. It's a massive stage for a young player, and one mistake could be costly. But at the same time, these are the matches that make players. You don't become ready by sitting on the bench. You become ready by facing 100 decibels of noise, by sprinting into tackles, by making that brave pass when everyone else would turn back. So, if Rodgers backs him, then Donovan has to show he belongs. Simple as that. Red Star's likely lineup, based on the Serbian press, is full of quality. Their back four is a mix of experience and physicality. Their midfield has a couple of new signings like Henda from Portugal, who looks like the type to put a foot in, control tempo, and frustrate opponents. Further up, Radonjic is a real threat. Over 50 caps for Serbia, dangerous on the ball, and confident in one-on-one situations. Add in Dwart and and they've got plenty of players who can hurt you in transition. But for all their attacking options, they've also shown vulnerabilities. Their home record in Europe doesn't scream fortress. They've been beaten, and recently, PSV, Benfica, Barcelona, all got results there. Even PAOK knocked them out at home just a few weeks ago. So Celtic don't need to be intimidated. Respect the opponent, yes. But fear? No chance. Rodgers knows that. He's been here before. This isn't his first European night. And the squad he's building, while not perfect, is starting to show signs of real growth. It's not just about individuals anymore. It's about structure, resilience, identity. That's what you need to survive in Europe. And slowly but surely, Celtic are beginning to look like a side that knows how to handle these occasions. Not dominate, not just yet, but handle them. That's the first step. There's been talk this week about the similarities between Celtic and Red Star, and it's honestly hard to ignore. Both clubs dominate their leagues, but struggle in Europe. Both have huge fan bases, massive histories, and expectations that never quite match up with current budgets or realities. You look at their UEFA coefficients. Celtic on 35 points, Red Star on 34. Just 3 places apart. They've both played in the Champions League recently. They've both been humbled. And now they meet, both with something to prove. It's not just about 3 points. It's about pride, progress, and the hope of going deeper into Europe than people expect. Meanwhile, off the pitch, there's been noise too. Celtic fan groups have rejected an invitation from the club to meet about the handling of the derby policing issues from March. There's tension between the board and the support, and although that won't affect tonight's match directly, it adds to the bigger picture. Fans are asking for change, for transparency, and they're not backing down. The message is clear: business as usual won't cut it. That unrest in the background will continue to simmer until the club shows it's listening. As for injured star Hoda, there was a bit of an update. He posted an image of himself doing resistance training underwater with the caption, "Peaks na agua," little fish in the water. He's not expected back until around the turn of the year, but it's good to see progress. The important thing isn't rushing him back. It's making sure when he does return, he's the same electric player we remember. Imagine Hoda and Tinky on opposite wings in full flow. That's the stuff that gives defenders nightmares. But that's for later. Tonight, it's about the players who are fit, who've made the trip, and who are about to step into a proper European battle. There's no pretending this'll be easy. It's a high-pressure night in a city that lives and breathes football. But pressure's part of the job. Celtic have dealt with it before, and if they manage their emotions, take their chances, and play with conviction, they can absolutely get a result here. A draw might feel like settling before a ball's kicked, but away in Europe, especially at a place like this, a point is gold. And if they go one better and win, then suddenly, the whole group looks different. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. The streets of Glasgow have been buzzing all weekend with a whisper that feels louder than any chant from the terraces. Lawrence Shankland, the talismanic Heart striker, is said to have given his word to Celtic. What began as faint murmurings in pubs and supporters' forums has now grown into a full-blown rumor storm, suggesting the Scotland international has accepted what insiders are calling an irresistible offer from the Parkhead club. Shankland, who has long been admired for his finishing touch and his knack for scoring in the tightest of matches, has been central to Hearts' ambitions in recent seasons. Yet, the lure of Celtic, with their European nights under the lights, their domestic dominance, and the chance to etch his name in the club's storied history, appears to have proved too strong to resist. Sources close to the forward insist he has made his decision, leaving only formalities and timing to be worked out. For Celtic supporters, this is the kind of transfer whisper that sends pulses racing. The notion of Shankland in green and white hoops, leading the line and feeding off the creativity of a midfield stacked with flair, is a tantalizing one. For Hearts, however, the prospect is a painful one, losing not just their captain, but also their heartbeat, to the very club they strive to challenge. No official word has come from either camp, of course, which only adds to the drama. The absence of confirmation allows speculation to run wild, as fans pore over every social media post, every sighting, every knowing nod from someone in the know. Could it all be smoke and mirrors? Perhaps, but those who claim to be nearest to the deal say Shankland has already shaken hands, convinced by the scale of the project and the promise of silverware. In Scotland, rumors like these often swell before they settle into fact or fizzle into nothing. For now, though, the chatter is deafening. Lawrence Shankland, the hero of Tynecastle, may soon be Celtic's newest weapon. The burghers of Edinburgh may call it betrayal. In Glasgow's East End, they call it destiny. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.